Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. Today, I want to share the story of the installation of the von Schweikert Audio CenterStage2 LS footers, designed by Joe Laverncik of Critical Mass Systems. Now, these are the loudspeaker versions of the Critical Mass Systems center stage component footers that I've reported on, both in print and here at the channel. Now, I've included links to those items in today's description section. First, I apologize for the poor focus on my discussion with Leif Swanson, Vice President and Chief Designer at VSA. This conversation was recorded the Tuesday after Expona, and we were both exhausted, as we will elaborate upon in the episode. Now, nearly 6 weeks after their installation, and some 3+ weeks after they have settled and bloomed in their entirety, I'm prepared to share just how much of an enhancement they have afforded to an already world-class loudspeaker, the $250,000 a pair von Schweikert Audio ULTRA 9s you see behind me here. Here is our conversation. How you doing, everybody? We are here today at Audio Analyst Central with the Chief Designer and Vice President of von Schweikert Audio, who I've known for a few weeks now. Look, I'll apologize if we look a little haggard. He just spent 5 days at Expona. I spent 4. I don't think I got to bed before 2 in the morning any of those nights because we were up carousing with our friends. We had a rugged trip home. We had some issues and some delays and some problems, and we did some work last night on the ULTRA 9s with Joe Lavrencik's new critical mass loudspeaker footers. And I've been promising we were going to talk about this, so we're going to do that today. But we got done about 1 a.m. I took him back to his hotel. I sat and listened till 4 a.m. I got up at 8, and it's about 1 o'clock now on Tuesday afternoon. So give us a little break if we look a little rough. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, please.
All right, so I'll be inserting pictures under this too. So the ULTRA 9s, I've had them for 2 years. They have a skirt around the bottom because of the really massive and well-designed rollers they use to go into position. Now, Joe came up with these loudspeaker footers, what, about 2 years ago? A year and a half ago? Something like that.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for time.
It's something like that. And everybody I've heard that has played with them has had a tremendous time. Michael Bump, Maurice Jeffries.
Their reviews will be coming.
Their reviews are coming very shortly. And the other thing was that a mutual friend of ours, a mutual von Schweikert customer, he has ULTRA 9s as I do. He got this upgrade in November, and the son of a gun has been taunting me since he got them. So we finally got this done last night. At 12:30 or so we were finished. We listened till about 1 o'clock. Immediately, the change was apparent, and we'll get to that in a minute. Right. But let's walk people through what we did, Leif.
Well, basically what we had to do is we had to get his speakers in a position to where we could get them off their soundcasters and get them to where we can remove the skirt, and what we have is we have a new plinth, as you saw. So basically that it actually follows the form factor of our other cabinets, where it's got the inside bevel. Right. So it really adds a nice look to the cabinet rather than the big vacuum sweeper type thing on the bottom. Looks like
Roomba ULTRA 9.
And with that being said, so with the previous ULTRA 9 customers, his was it was a design as we went.
Right.
Although we had the idea actually, and Damon played a huge part of this, but we had the idea of what was going to take place, and then so we did all that in his room. So at least with your room, we had all the
You're talking about doing it at Russ's, and now it converted here. Yeah. So the first thing we had to do, if you've seen these things, you can't just roll them back because the skirts would break. So we took, I have my original shipping crates. We took the bottom of the crate, which has the recess in foam for the speaker.
Right.
We put the thing up against the back of the speaker, and we carefully lay it back on its back. And then the skirt comes off first.
Yeah.
About 8 screws for that. 8 or 10.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, 10.
And then the casters come off.
Right.
And then we realign those new bottom plinths, which you'll see the pictures of.
Right.
and we put those on 16 different screws.
Right. So
it's really on there, dude. Yeah.
We don't want any vibration or anything to between the two
Sure.
surfaces.
And
so.
now that new plinth had 4 pre-drilled holes that are about an inch larger in diameter than the top of the footers.
Yeah.
Okay. So once we had that on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then go ahead. You figured out center.
So once we have the plinth on there, then basically we find the center of each hole, and then we have to pre-drill so the inserts can go in that will accept the titanium adapters that will keep the footer snug against the bottom.
Yeah, the titanium adapter it threads into the footer itself, and then it threads up into this new adapter that's added to the base of the speaker.
Right. We found that the performance difference between just the speaker sitting on the footer versus it being
attached.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. So once those are in, then we have to stand it back up.
Right.
We did both of those. I think when we were missing some parts, we had to go buy screws at a hardware store. It was crazy. But I think the actual transformation, now this is a field transformation. I should add, current models production, this is all done at the factory. And, but you guys will go do the field upgrades for people.
Yeah.
It's about $15,000 for the upgrade. About.
Yes.
Somewhere
depending on where they're located.
But I want you to understand this is being done at the factory now. So it took us
with all the current production.
The current production,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So like I said, it took about 3.5 hours because it was done in the field. It was 2 old tired guys with a drink or 3. But we actually, I think we did a pretty good, reasonably fast, efficient job.
Oh, the second one went fast.
Yeah. So once we stood them up, everybody knows I'm a stickler about placement. I use a laser. Ask Maurice Jeffries, he'll tell you how much difference it made in his room. But we just got them sent up, and we listened for about a half hour last night. And the immediate difference, was low-end extension wasn't so much better extended, but it was faster, tighter, better texture too, I think, right? And dude, focus. Voices have never been fat or large here, but the focus became so much more intense, much more articulate, more real sounding. And I just let it play overnight, and then we both crashed. Well, I took you to the hotel, and I was up till 4 a.m.
Right.
And I got up at 8 this morning, and I did a little bit of listening. I came and got you. We got some coffee. We got a little bit done. Between the two of us, as anal as I am, he's probably a little worse on some of this. And we got my laser back out, and we dialed this thing in. I mean, we were literally at like 1 foot 10 inches and 5/8 on both. I mean, it was dead on. It was really good. We had the toe in. We leveled them. That was the first thing we did. We actually leveled them and got them at the same height. Right. They were matched at exactly the same height. We repositioned the chair a little bit. We got it done. And I'm telling you what, I don't think we're 10 hours of play in. And by the way, if you go back and look at some of my other critical mass system footer reviews, they take some time to actually bloom and become fully effective. But what we're hearing at 10 hours in, dude, I saw the look on your face. You were surprised too. Well, I'm beside myself with what we're hearing, and they're going to get better.
Well, as that phrase goes, the system didn't suck when we first turned it on.
Hey, I trademarked that, buddy. That's $50. Come on, go ahead.
But the information, the clarity of the sound that I was hearing in comparison, I mean, it was wonderful to begin with. I mean, it had the bloom, it had the attack, it had the slam, but and all the definition was there. But I mean, man, the soundstage just went, which was already fantastic, just went from here to the depth of the soundstage.
Yeah, the depth increase, and the depth has always been something people are like, holy shit, that's 10 feet behind the wall.
Yeah, and we have that even at Russ's house. Well, at Russ's house, I'm looking at Damon, and Damon.
How you doing, Russ? Love you.
Yeah. I'm like, can we move this damn TV?
Yeah.
And so he's like, dude, whatever you guys want to do, just do it. Don't even ask. Yeah. And so we did.
And it was high and dead center between his speakers, which would have been mucking with depth, I think.
Before it was in between them, and we took it way back.
Yeah.
And his soundstage went way deep, but I mean the noise floor. That's one of the first things we heard. And you had a low noise floor to begin with, but man, talk about a black background. And then when you put the 4 vocalists on it, and when those drums hit, I'm like, look,
that was
15 feet back.
Yeah, and that was something that I was getting at with the focus that I didn't really hit on was the noise floor drop. I was hearing, especially in terms of microdynamic
resolution and nuance. There was stuff there that was so much better refined, and I mean, we're not even 10 hours in.
No, they're flexing. They're gonna.
But yeah, the stage went deeper, and you know those four guys. I use a thing called it's from an album Harp Attack from I think '92 from Chicago, Alligator Records, and four blues players playing across the stage, and they're literally spaced, four guys apart, equally spaced. They each play their own key harmonica, harp. And dude, it was like, I mean, they'd always been really well done. Now, they're layered so well, you can hear the difference in heights, you can hear, when they're playing the harp, their harmonicas, I mean, and these four, and their voices were always good, but now they're like, I mean, it's like, you can point to them, you can get up and walk over and tap them on the shoulders.
Do you notice the space in between them though,
yeah,
too?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's always there, but I mean...
this is, well, that's what I was talking about, I think, with Focus, was there's a sense of, there's a better sense of ambience, and I don't mean just I don't just mean larger space, but the interplay between spaces, like you know, a guy playing a guitar and his voice, and like you pointed out, the air between it's like there was more space, but not greater distance, but more effective space between the guys. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but it's only 10 hours in, and you know, we think, what do we think this is going to take? Like 2 weeks total, or 10 days? Yeah, I know. And it's interesting, but
just removing the skirt that was roughly about close to an inch off the ground.
I don't think it was an inch.
Maybe not even an inch. Maybe it's 3/4 of an inch.
5/8. It was pretty close.
Even removing that, now allowing all that air to come underneath the speaker.
I'd forgotten about that.
That's huge to begin with, and then just what Joe's done with the engineering and the.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just wow. It's like, when's it going to stop?
Well, I had been, one of the reasons I was dying to do this is I had the pleasure of having Joe work with me on the original footers, the 2s, and now the 2Ms, which I have throughout the system.
Right.
And as I initially stated with the first review I did, when I put those under the system, or under the components, once they settled, and they took 14, 20 days, some of them, I mean, it took a while for them to actually bloom, to actually finish blooming. I said in print and in public that it was like the system had doubled in value. The resolution, the transparency, the space, the darkness, again, this stuff just, that's why I was so anxious to get these footers in.
It's hard when people sit there going, well, how much better does it get? And they want you to give them a percentage. I mean, if it gets clearer, cleaner, you hear more information, the soundstage gets deeper, I mean, that's a huge...
It's huge. It's hard to put a percentage on it.
It is.
It's really hard. I mean, and it's, the change right now is so significant that, you know...
yeah, I was getting phone calls from Russ days, and you know, it just one after another, sitting there going, oh my gosh, you should hear it now. And yeah. I'm like, you know, because a lot of times we're not fortunate enough. We don't get to hear a lot of...
But you can't stay in somebody's house for 2 weeks.
No, but I mean, you think it'd be something we'd be doing at our place, yeah. But we just... Stuff is just moving so fast.
Sure.
It's, you know, and you know, even with our new dealer, I mean, he will not take the speakers without a set of footers.
We're talking about Scott Walker Audio.
Oh, well, okay. So
I'm sorry.
No,
there's no reason to hide it.
No.
Scott's I mean, a good guy, and yeah, he's really behind the line.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Okay, I'm getting this pair of speakers. Give me the footers.
Footers.
And it's just
the difference it makes. Just when we stood them up was significant. 10 hours later, it's like, oh my God, I can't wait for 2 weeks in and see what happens.
Yes, Lots will record you when you call me. Drop that one out there.
It's such a pleasure to have you in the house, brother. I was a huge fan of Albert's work. When you guys took over in 2015, I truly believe you've taken his work to levels that he would have been so proud of had we not lost him so early. But, brother, thanks for coming and doing this. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I know it was a brutal chore because you had 5 days at Expo and I had 4. We were exhausted when we got here, but we were like 2 kids last night trying to get this done. It was so cool.
Oh, I know. Oh, I was having fun doing that, but then I was tormented thinking, oh my gosh, there's Ultra 11s and there's Ultra 9s all over the place. And
yeah. And again, you guys are the exclusive distributors, and you guys are, I mean, Joe is the designer. That's a Critical Mass System product, but it's a von Schweikert Audio product.
Joe's the designer of the product. He gave us the rights we bought. He sold it to us.
Okay,
And
so it's von
we-
Schweikert's Critical Mass Systems.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we are using the same machine shops
Yeah.
and stuff that
Yeah.
he was. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Nothing's different. But
Yeah.
I mean, they were so good. Having that opportunity to purchase it, we would have been stupid if we didn't.
Oh God! Again, what I heard with the component footers, which we talked about back then, we both went through the same thing with it, and I cannot urge you strongly enough to go hear what these footers do at any level, and I believe they're going to be considered a standard thing on the Endeavor Special Edition, and you're even talking about the E3s, right?
Scott Walker has them on the E3 Mark
Wow.
II. And
Wow.
even, I mean, what they do to an E3 Mark II, it's like, I start to think, I mean, it's still so much performance for the price point.
Sure.
That how can you not?
Yeah.
I mean, and you're just scratching the surface
I know.
right now.
And dude, we got to get you to the airport. We got to leave here in about 10 minutes.
All right.
It's been a long day, a long week.
Right.
Brother, thanks so much for coming and doing this. I can't tell you. Damon, we miss you. We wish you could have been here. I can't thank you guys enough for taking care of this for me. Be well, buddy.
You too.
So long, everybody.
Bye.
Now, keep in mind, we were still reeling from the benefits we were hearing just 10 odd hours into the settling process. But even that soon into the process, the bass and space were substantially improved. Now I'm able to reveal the whole story. Now, given my experiences with the component footers, I knew there would be changes, and at length, an amazing improvement in performance once they had enough time to settle or bloom. Now, while I cannot clearly explain the roller coaster ride these exceptional devices offer as they assume their final game-changing performance, they do cycle from moments of almost unlistenability to pinnacles of presentation. As an example, about 3.5 days in, I lost the very deepest bass performance, an attribute that the Ultra 9s excel at. I called fellow Ultra 9 owner and friend who had the footers installed on his Ultra 9s last November, Russ Verstandig, to ask him how long to expect before it would return. He said he never experienced that, so he had no idea. I called Leif with the same question. He said the same thing. Now, understand, I was not calling either of them because I had any doubts that it would return. My time with the component footers assured me that it would. I was only trying to ascertain how long to expect it to take before it did. Well, it took about 3 to 3.5 days. And then, wham, holy crap. The speaker's noise floor seemed to drop to virtually non-existent levels. Bass was so greatly enhanced, just as it is with the component footers, most readily noticeable as a newly found speed, both on leading and trailing edges, affecting their depiction of pitch definition, tonal fidelity, and texture. Now, keep in mind, this was one of this speaker's strengths to begin with. Before adding these footers, I simply would not have believed such an impressive degree of improvement could have been achieved. Additionally, the overall resolution had improved to an astonishing degree, one that allowed them to now deliver a level of transparency that rivaled what I had experienced in Hayward last October when auditioning the Magico M9s. Really. Now, these significant advances in bass refinement and resolve worked in synergy, presenting an unprecedented and unbelievable degree of improvement to staging and imaging. Again, attributes that I felt VSA speakers, with their industry-unique ambience retrieval system, do better to begin with than any other speaker brand available today. But Soundscapes took an enormous step forward, delivering a heightened sense of their virtual physicality, their air, illumination, and regenerating the ensuing space of the recording so effortlessly, so precisely and faithfully reconstructed, so corporal, so credible, that you can be convinced that you could just reach out and tap the performers on their shoulders. Guys, I cannot impress upon you strongly enough just what a monumental improvement these footers unleashed in their performance of my von Schweikert Audio ULTRA 9s. What Joe Laverncik of Critical Mass Systems has achieved with this entire line of footers is nothing short of astounding. The unimaginable elevation in performance that they enjoy as a result of the von Schweikert CenterStage2 LS footer installation is in no way subtle or mistakable, and the Ultra 9 was a world-class loudspeaker to begin with. Now, at its current level of augmented performance, it clearly performs among the finest handful of loudspeakers in existence. And if you somehow mistakenly think that I'm just being hyperbolic, ask anyone who has experienced the transformation, like my colleagues and friends, Dr. Michael Bump or Maurice Jeffries, both of whom have made the von Schweikert Audio CenterStage2 LS footers a permanent addition to their VSA Endeavor Special Editions. The results are more than merely transformative, they are astonishing. Thanks for dropping in today. Information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, cheers.